Hi, everyone. This is Ryan T. Barlow. This is People of Interest, and my mic was muted. So we had the one flub of the evening, and we got it out of the way immediately. So thank you so much for being here. Again, this is People of Interest. I'm your host, Ryan T. Barlow. If you're new to our show, we've got some very fun new tricks here and design things. Thank you to TAT Communications for all that you're seeing tonight with this presentation. So what the show is I've got waiting in the wings 4 very interesting performers, and I've written for them 4 very interesting characters that they're going to perform, and I'm going to interview them. The catch is they have no idea who their characters are or what they're going to be about until I'm reading those descriptions to you, the audience. So let me tell you who we have on the show tonight. We've got RJ Payne, who's calling in all the way from Seattle, Washington. We've got Tom Hannigan, who's coming all the way from Chicago. We have Olivia Kram, who is in South Philadelphia, so that's not quite as far from me as Tom and RJ. And we have Ralph Andracchio, who is also in South Philadelphia and is probably closer to Olivia than to me. So we're excited to get started, but as always, here are today's headlines.
Good evening. For POI News in Philadelphia, I'm Neil Bardhan. It's 56 degrees in South Philly, and I have no idea what it's like where you are. I do know, however, that if you're on the internet, nobody knows if you're wearing pants. In weather news, meteorologists are calling for a cold snap, the so-called polar vortex, for much of the northeastern United States this weekend. Temperatures will drop to below what they were on Christmas for 75 million Americans. The National Weather Service has issued a statement that reads, "What? Like you had somewhere to be? You were going to be on your couch anyway. Netflix and chill getting literal, baby!" Yeah. We turn now to sports and the start of baseball season. The NC Dinos and the Lotte Giants lead the league after the first week of play, and there's been a lot of trades lately. The SK Wyverns lost pitcher Kwang Hyun Kim, so we'll see how their bullpen shapes up. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I fail to mention that I'm talking about the South Korean KBO League? Now you know how it feels like to be anywhere else in the world and hear about what's going on in the U.S. constantly, I imagine. I don't know. Here in Philadelphia, some good news. The drumline that calls themselves Positive Movement Entertainment, famous for Trashfire Elmo, received a gift of new drums from an area production company. So the next time you hear snares and a bass drum oddly filling your neighborhood, don't shout, "Knock it off with that old drum set," because it's a new drum set. For POI News, I'm Neil Bardhan. GoToMeeting supports People of Interest, and yet no one is supporting GoToMeeting. Everyone is all Zoom this and Zoom that when we've been in the game since before being remote was cool. Well, screw you guys.
My next guest is one of the hardest working CEOs in the tech space today. Charles Thomas is the kind of CEO who is always at the office, working late into the night, sometimes even sleeping on the couch in his office. So he can get a jump start on work as soon as he wakes up. Needless to say, Thomas is barely ever home. That is until the quarantine forced him to work remotely. Now he, like many of us, are learning a lot of things about their home life that they never knew. Specifically for him, that he actually has a family. That's right, Thomas spent so much time at work, he didn't even realize he has a wife and 3 children. And as strange as this is, he's not alone. Over 47% of CEOs around the world admit that since the start of quarantine, they've discovered family members they didn't know they had. For the past few weeks, Thomas has been chronicling his journey through his new unwanted work-life balance via his company's blog. He joins us here tonight to reflect on his new strange circumstances and provide advice to other CEOs who are going through the same thing. Charles Thomas, welcome. I believe you might be on mute.
See, Ryan, in office life, there is no mute. You just talk to somebody. But anyway, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I know it's been a very busy time for you. I know your business. I believe you have an app that tracks sleep and wellness for doctors. Is that correct?
Yeah, sleep and wellness exclusively for doctors. If you are not a doctor, then we do not care about you. That's a tagline we're testing out. I don't know that it's going to stick, but hours and hours in sleep and hours of wellness is a recipe for success. That's another tagline that we're trying out, but I don't know if it's going to stick.
I mean, it might work. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
So let's talk about your family. How are you adjusting to the wife and 3 kids?
Can you believe it, Ryan? It's never been better. I never knew there was this support system here for me. I was just, at a business meeting and like making charts that go, up one way, and then there's an intersecting thing that goes down another way. And this whole time I've had this support system. Little Mickey used to, play soccer, before this all went down. And I have Jessica and Francesca, our twin daughters, Jessica and Francesca. And then, of course, my lovely wife, Marv. It's honestly, it couldn't be better. I really wish that I had not been so blindsided by the office coffee machine and that nice printer that you can always print things any times a day, and my office couch. But no more, Ryan. I am now a family individual.
So I think everyone's probably a little curious. What were you doing? If you would come home, for an odd weekend, maybe you got home pretty late and you're crawling into bed and there's someone next to you. Like, did you just kind of miss that, or?
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of this weird Airbnb situation. My property manager told me that he would Airbnb different properties at different times. I have a lot of real estate, Ryan, of course. So, I didn't know who was going where. Listen, I might have been in the wrong place for all I thought, right? That's what I was thinking at the time. And so, I met a lot of different people, not just my own wife and kids. I would just sleep anywhere, really. I mean, it didn't really matter. I would just, leave my office and find something. So it's nice to feel like I'm a part of something. Of course, beyond the app that tracks sleep and wellness only for people in the medical profession.
Right. So, what are you, how are you managing the day? I mean, obviously you're sort of, going like, 6 to 10 every night, every day and night, are you finding you're having to take breaks to help teach the kids, just to play with them, to spend time with your wife, cook?
I've actually designated myself head of homeschooling, and it's actually been going very well. We've taught the kids about all sorts of things. Let's see, total addressable markets, profit and loss, responsibility, all sorts of things that a 5th grader, which is, where Mickey is, and then a couple of 10th graders, which is Jessica and Francesca, it's all things that they really need to know. But I'll tell you what, Ryan, I don't get it. You're at your home, but you're working. It just doesn't jive with me.
I mean, but I'm sure you work everywhere you work at. I'm sure you take, occasional business phone calls and emails at restaurants, and if you're out on the links. Oh,
I take constant business phone. Ryan, I could never go at least one meal without getting a business phone call. You know what I do? I turn my cell phone off. In fact, I put it on silent mode. But yeah, you know how in the 90s people would come over like with the phone and they'd say, "Hey, there's a call for you." People tend to track me down that way. So yeah, that's the big problem. Working from home, homing from work, or remote work. My whole life is work, and so that's why it was good for me to have a clear place to do it at the office. And now apparently I'm running a new office here with a couple of more employees. You know, Marv, my beautiful wife, and Francesca and Jessica, and Mickey. You know, we're going to be a strong team. I'll tell you what, Ryan. There's a new app coming out that's going to track health and wellness, but only for lawyers. And it's like, ha ha, ha ha,
Wow. So we do have some questions from the audience, and audience keeps sending them in. So one audience member is asking if you've had to set any boundaries with Marv and the kids. You know, okay, now I'm in a big business meeting. I need you guys to just kind of give me some space.
Most of the time, the whole family is on all of the business calls with me. I mean, that's pretty much how we roll at this point. We've turned into a small family-run business, and so it's pretty much Actually, Mickey takes the leads on most of the calls, the fifth grader, and you should see him go.
Oh, really? Is he any specific focus, marketing, finance, anything like that?
Well, his big thing is soccer. Right, so we've done a lot of work on you want to score the goal, right, in soccer. What's the goal in business? So I kind of just pretty much tell him like, hey, this is the goal of this call, and he just starts riffing, and I think it's a combination of just people feeling so isolated here. I got all these flies around me. I don't know where they're coming from. And, my fifth grader just knowing what's up. That's
super important. We got two more questions from the audience. First of all, people are wanting to know what the names of your apps are.
So of course we have Dr. Doolittle is the app that tracks health and wellness for doctors specifically, and then we have Wade Boggs, which is our app for exclusively tracking health and wellness for baseball players. We have it's like Eddie Murphy for exclusively tracking health and wellness of comedians and performers. So it's really we have about 327 apps in the App Store. You just download them all, put them on your phone, and see where it gets you.
Okay, cool. So the final question, and this is sort of a segue into final thoughts of how to cope with all this. Everyone, multiple people have asked if you're wearing pants.
Yes. I actually, I switch. I do kind of have a system. I get up and it's usually cold in the morning. So I kind of have on some sort of, like a pajama pants. Right. And then I try to put some jeans on in the middle of the day. And then I kind of like flirt with some shorts, some of the time. And then, obviously I sleep in shorts as well. So I am wearing pants, although my legal counsel, Marv, has advised me not to prove that in any way, shape, or form right now. However, I am wearing pants, and I just think that shout out to everyone out there that's just doing good, and we're gonna get through this, and I just wish everybody well, Ryan.
Okay. Do you have any final advice for any of those other CEOs who are dealing with new family members they didn't know about?
Yeah. So, I mean, speak first and then ask questions later.
Okay. Sure. I think that makes sense. Thank you so much, Charles Thomas, for being here, and best of luck with your apps.
Oh, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
People of Interest is supported by Quibi. Quibi is the brand new streaming platform that only shows quick 10-minute videos for today's modern Americans who are always on the go. Whether you're waiting at a restaurant, on a crowded train, in line for... What's that? A quarantine, you say? So people have virtually endless amounts of time now to sit around and watch their actual TVs? Oh.
When the U.S. started quarantining back in March, you may have experienced or heard about seemingly benign Facebook posts being flagged as offensive for no reason. Well, that's because Facebook had to make the difficult decision of closing their offices around the world, which included sending their over 15,000 content moderators home with no remote access. They then turned to their artificial intelligence moderation algorithm to pick up the slack. Well, as you might guess, without the human touch, the algorithm proved somewhat unsuccessful. In the bind, Facebook decided that they could safely send one person back to work, my guest, Duncan Davidson. Since the beginning of April, he has been the sole moderator for all Facebook content around the world. He is the single force checking all of your complaints, ferreting out fake news, and banning users for offensive content. He joins us here tonight as a brief break from his never-ending task of keeping you safe from the creeps of the internet. Duncan Davidson, welcome.
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for having me. Thank you for this break.
How's it going? I mean, you must be pretty stressed out.
There's about 1 billion things on Facebook right now, and it turns out lots of graphic stuff that, if it wasn't for me, you'd be seeing way worse stuff, and it's pretty bad.
Is it is it taking a toll on you, or are you able to handle it pretty well?
I'm cracking. I think hopefully quarantine doesn't last too much longer. I should be good. I should be good if this ends soon. But right now, every time I see a person, I just think, I'm like, that person's racist for sure.
So what are some of, I guess, the top issues that you're dealing with right now? I mean, is there like, I guess there's a lot of fake news going on about the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So lots of fake news. Plandemic videos been going around about people who aren't doctors talking about some kind of crazy plan in China. That's not a thing. Another thing is just people posting nudes. Lots of people are bored just dropping nudes out there.
Just nude photos of themselves on Facebook or others.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm deleting at least 9 nudes a minute easily.
Wow. You think that like Facebook, at least their algorithm could pick up some of the slack with their facial recognition and everything?
Well, it's more of a filtration system. If Facebook thinks that you're doing a thing that it uses like keywords to filter, and then they send all these horrible things my way, and I'm just like, nope. So I've been flagging and deleting a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, and going the other way, a lot of people were complaining that their posts were being flagged for no reason, and now, it seems like they're getting through. So you must be seeing a lot of non-offensive stuff come through that you're able to take care of.
Yeah, well, what happened was when I first started doing this, I was real sensitive about what I got rid of. So if I saw one spelling error, it was out. So that's where a lot of those came. But right now, I've relaxed. I've relaxed a little bit, So here we are now. I'm only deleting the real bad stuff you don't want your kids to see.
Right. But are you, it sounds like you do have a certain amount of power. Is there anything that, I don't want to get you in trouble, but is there anything that you were thinking like, I just don't want to see this?
Yes. Ed Bowers, who I went to high school with, I deleted every single thing that he's posted the last 2 months, and he doesn't know why. It's hysterical.
What if I may ask, who is Ed Bowers to you? You went to high school with him?
He's just some guy I went to school with. He sucked. He was a jerk to me. And now I deleted all his family's photos from his Facebook.
Wow. So it's just, I assume it's just limited to Ed Bauer. And is there anybody that you give like a hall pass to? You're like, this person's great. I'm gonna just approve everything, carte blanche.
I haven't met anyone who meets the carte blanche standard yet. I even flagged something from my dad, who's new to Facebook, which I was not expecting. But I sent him a text afterwards. No go, Daddy-O.
We have some questions coming in from the audience, and everybody, please keep them coming. A couple of people have asking, are you a contractor or a direct employee?
Technically a temp.
Oh,
so I got a couple weeks left on my contract, and I might be brought on. I might not be brought on. You know how these things work, and going through an agency.
So you had really no prior experience with Facebook prior to this?
No, they asked me if I was a good judge of character. I said, yeah, I think so. And I said, all right.
So they just kind of gave you a laptop and the button and told you to go nuts?
Well, I'm the only one working in their office right now. So every single person is gone off Facebook, and it's a cool office, but it's spooky when you're by yourself. So I'm there now, and they're like, do you mind sitting around a big empty office that you might hear echoes of things that are probably mice? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So here I am.
So, a lot of people talk about working in the Facebook offices. There's a lot of great amenities. Are some of those still there when you're not, even though no one else is there?
Not really. Most of the bathrooms are locked. So I have to go to like the third floor to use the bathroom. And besides that, they had like an air hockey table. They just turned. I think they hit some breakers on their way out because a bunch of stuff doesn't work now.
Oh, and I guess they don't have like massagers there and relaxation specialists.
Nope, the chairs are still there, but just a chair.
Yeah, are they good chairs at least?
Yeah, they're good chairs. They're not near my desk, and it's a bit of a walk from my desk to the good chairs. I looked at them to see if there was a possibility of bringing my computer down to their chair or the chair up to my computer, and it's just not happening.
Now, can you at least, I guess, you can, is there like a dress code even though you're there by yourself, or are they pretty casual?
They're pretty casual. It's just me. There is no security, no nothing. It's just me and a key. I walk in the building. I can wear whatever I want as long as it's covered. It's all covered up. Basically, I have to dress the way I would, the way I need to dress to not have my own pictures flagged. Gotcha.
That makes sense. Speaking of which, we got an interesting question from the from the chat here, and they want to know if you've ever deleted a post from Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm not allowed to. All Facebook senior staff, you know how you can get like a blue check mark and on Twitter and stuff? Well, they have a red X that like I can see from my office, but you can't see on a regular thing. And that just means that they're off limits. So if Mark Zuckerberg posts a picture of his ding dong, that's just out there now. I can't stop it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a few. I guess that's a few less people you have to worry about monitoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the rule.
A follow-up question: have you sat in Mark Zuckerberg's chair?
No, that's in his office. He has a key to that, and it's one of those card keys that you just put up to the thing, and it goes boop, and it opens up on its own. I just have your standard metal key, nothing fancy.
Just in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you? Do you have any? So we're almost out of time here. I'm just kind of wondering. Do you feel that you've been doing a pretty good job? Do you think you have a good chance of going on full time after this?
That's a great question. I don't know if my brain or soul could take that. Hopefully they give me the option and I find something else, maybe with the company, maybe somewhere else. Just, I don't want to see and flag content all day. It's killing me.
Well, I guess before we go, do you have a sort of a final plea to everyone before you go of what they should stop posting on Facebook?
Oh man, just imagine you're friends with your grandmother and post accordingly.
It's valid. All right, Duncan Davidson, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
People of Interest is supported by Charmin. Does anyone miss our weird bear commercials? You know the one where there's a family of bears who constantly talk about wiping their asses as if that's a normal conversation people have? We stopped advertising because it's not really necessary right now. But, we miss them. And we're wondering if you guys did too. Because we could totally bring them back right now if you want.
Sorry, I think you're on mute.
I did it again. Thank you very much. As I was saying, as people are spending more time than ever with their pets, many are reporting that they've noticed a change in their pets' behaviors and the dynamics of their relationships. While most dog owners are finding that their dogs are thriving under the increased attention and are becoming more affectionate, the same cannot be said of cats. Cats are already notoriously independent, and their increased contact with their owners has made them even more aloof and distant. If you feel like you've lost your connection with your cat, my next guest, Felicity Lloyd, one of the world's top cat relationship therapists, wants you to know you are not alone. Lloyd, who wrote the book on human-cat relationships with her 2017 bestseller, Dinner with Your Cat Counts as a Date, has seen her number of clients explode in the last week. She joins us here tonight to give advice to people who want to bring the spark back into their relationship with their cat. Felicity Lloyd, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Ryan. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I personally don't have any pets, but a lot of the people I work with and talk to have pets. And it seems like, everyone's really having, fun taking their dogs for a walk. But so what's going on with cats?
This is the hardest time cats have ever faced. I think it's really unprecedented times for pet cats, domestic cats. They need a certain amount of je ne sais quoi, if you will. Cats are a very secluded animal, and us being around them all the time is making them tense, making them a little snappish, a little bitey. I'd be lying if I said my relationship with my boyfriend, I'm sorry, my cat, is not going great right now.
If it's not too personal a question, how is your relationship going?
Oh, well, we haven't gotten to the breakup talk yet. Me and my cat, we're doing okay. We're currently on a break, not instituted by me, of course, instituted by Fred. Fred is my cat's name. He wants some space, and I want to give it to him. I think he needs that.
Well, it must be difficult. So I understand. You were used to doing sort of face-to-face, people bringing with your practice, people bringing their cats in to talk to you, and now you're doing Zoom therapy with people. Is it difficult for you helping other people with their problems while you're facing your own?
I'll tell you what, Ryan. I have never found anything more thrilling than FaceTiming people with their animals. Sometimes I just say, listen, human, I don't want to see your face. Let me get eye to eye with your cat. And I'll tell you what, it is better than talking to my parents who have since stopped returning my calls.
Oh. Is it hard to keep the animals, the cats, looking in the view of the camera? I'd imagine they kind of just wander off a lot.
You know what? I knew you were going to ask that, but any cat genius like me knows a cat cannot resist a good bag of feathers. So I bulk bought feathers from Amazon. I spent my whole stimulus check on it, so I keep those cats entertained 24/7.
Can't you just reuse like a couple of feathers? I'm sorry, I'm not super familiar with what cats like.
I don't come into your job and tell you what to do I? I don't tell you how to interview people. Don't tell me how to talk to cats. Oh, I know people like you. Oh.
So, with the cat angle, it seems like cats, just kind of want some more independence. What are the humans you're talking to looking for right now?
I wouldn't say I talk to too many people, but my clients, they want their cats to stop biting them. They want their cats to stop waking them up in the middle of the night. They want their cats to stop meowing at them all the time. And I say, listen, you dummies, these cats are just giving you the attention that I crave. If my cat treated me like that, oh boy, I'd be over the moon. I had a husband leave me at the altar, but it was made better by my little puss. In fact, here's one just now. This one I got after I lost my job.
Oh, so you have multiple. So you have one cat, Fred, yours, your boyfriend, and then you have multiple other cats.
I have 17 cats.
And they all have different. Do they all have different relationship roles for you?
Oh well, all the males are my boyfriends, and the girls are my sisters. So we keep it fun. We have girls' nights, and we have big group dates, like we're on The Bachelor.
I see. We're already getting some great questions from the from the audience, and they have some. They're looking for some advice for you. So from Kim. My cat was so excited to have me home, but after 3 weeks at home, he started ignoring me. What can I do to capture his attention again?
That's a great question, Kim. If it were me, and this is something I have done, take a little bit of butter, half a stick, rub it all over your foot, get real into those crevices, and just walk around with no shoes on. Your cat will be licking your toes just as quick as you can say, oh my God, I love my cat.
And once they're licking your toes, then you can pet the cat, or what's step 2 after?
Hold on. You don't want to pet a cat during these times. Cats, they don't want to be touched. They'll give you the eyes like, touch me, but they don't want to be touched. You should just settle with the cat licking your feet.
I thought like with cats, they're like snuggly and they sit in your lap. Or is that a myth? I'm sorry, I'm not super versed on cats.
I think you want to remember, Ryan, cats are natural-born killers. Now, they are small, but if they were large, they would and could kill us.
Oh, I see. We have a question from the audience member who's curious about your cat situation. They're wondering if you've gotten a cat every time something bad happens in your life.
Who hasn't? Okay, who hasn't? Who hasn't, run their car into a building and bought 3 cats afterwards to fill that gap in their heart? I buy cats the way people drink wine. I just do it, and I suffer the consequences later. Cats are my hangover.
I see. So we have another question here. And they're wondering about the dynamic between. So, if obviously you have multiple pets, and if other people have multiple pets and cats, how has their relationship changed? Do they get jealous of each other? How has that been affected by the quarantine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, because sometimes I'll walk into my bedroom and all my cats will be sitting there and they'll all look at me at the same time as if they've been in a meeting where they're discussing how they're going to kill and eat me. Sometimes I think, are my cats mad at each other? Should I intervene? Should I mediate? Should I take them to couples counseling? But if you leave cats to their own devices, I trust that they will take care of their problems themselves. Have you seen the musical Cats?
I have not. I saw a trailer.
First of all, watch it. Every Oscar should go to it. But second of all, it teaches you something about how cats kind of manage their problems. They're all just a scrappy gang of sexy musicians dancing in the streets.
I see. Well, that's great. So we're almost out of time. Do you have any final words of wisdom for people with people managing their cat relationships?
Yeah, just give them their space, and let them be. And also, Ryan, I'm really worried. My cats might be planning something. I noticed that they've written out a document, and I think that they have plans to, in fact, take my life. So you might be the last person I speak to. Please send help.
Okay, I will contact right after the show. I don't want to text during the show, but right afterwards I'll contact the authorities.
Thank you so much.
Felicity Lloyd, thank you so much for being here.
The WWE supports people of interest and would like to remind you that, according to the governor of Florida, we are an essential business, which means professional wrestlers are essential workers. So you should go outside and clap for professional wrestlers every day, too. And a lawn sign here and there wouldn't hurt either.
In recent weeks, many have compared President Trump to a snake oil salesman as he has touted multiple untested and in some cases dangerous potential treatments for COVID-19. But what do actual snake oil salesmen think about the president and what he's doing? Well, according to my next guest, Professor Tiberius P. Montague, Esquire, MD, DDS, they aren't happy about it. At a time when the traveling medicine shows should be booming, snake oil business has cratered. The problem is that the president has been suggesting dubious cures you can find in your home, such as disinfectants, bleach, and light, instead of promoting revitalizing tinctures and tonics that can counter corona and put the lid on COVID. Not only that, but due to social distancing guidelines, Professor Montague can no longer encourage large groups of people to gather around and hear about his wondrous patented elixir made of the finest snake oils found in only the remotest jungles of the subcontinent that will assuredly bring back your sense of smell. Disclaimer, people of interest cannot verify any of Professor Montague's claims. He joins us here tonight to tell us how he's coping and how the snake oil sales business is coping during the quarantine. Professor Tiberius P. Montague, Esquire, MD, DDS, welcome.
Ryan, thank you for having me. I appreciate your search for the truth because nobody else will have me on their shows, quite frankly. And their loss, because the years of research that I've done, literally 3 years of research I've done into alternative cures, I feel can save the world.
Well, I mean, we certainly are curious to hear about those. I'm a little curious to hear about, you're so used to your business is a very face-to-face business. You roll up in town with your wagon full of wares and you start hollering to the townspeople to come by and gather around. How are you coping?
You're making me sound a lot more quaint than I am, Mr. Barlow. This is not a quaint business. This is medicine. This is science. I don't have a little covered wagon like I'm on the Oregon Trail getting dysentery and getting my wife to California to shuck for gold or wherever they call it. I'm a scientist. I am a dentist. That's what that DDS stands for. I'm a doctor just like any other doctor.
And a lawyer and a professor.
Yes, and I do actually use Charles Thomas's apps to track my sleep. Well done, sir. I must say, well done.
Well, we definitely appreciate you and what you're doing for us. May I ask where you were accredited as a lawyer, a dentist, and a doctor, and a professor in what university?
You may not.
Okay. Moving on there. What are we? So obviously a big time right now with everything with the coronavirus that we're dealing with. What are you? Obviously people are turning to hydroxychloroquine and bleach and sort of household.
Say that again. What was that one? What was that
I
first
think
one?
I broke up. Hydroxychloroquine.
You're breaking up. What was that? Hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine? Yes.
Hydroxychloroquine. Yeah. No,
there you go.
I'm certain you said that correctly. Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about these so-called cures?
If it has more than 4 syllables, do not put it in your body.
Snake oil. That's 2. Yeah.
2, right?
So why snake oil?
Oh. Well, why not? I mean, think about it. Biblically, snakes were the first animal, sentient being in the Bible to actually question what was going on, right? Offered the apple, said, hey, there's some other stuff going on here you don't know about. Let me fill you in, right? And I believe that every other snake descendant from that original snake, not Satan, by the way, that's big religion trying to cloud the issue, right? Snakes are really the first truth tellers. And every other snake descended from that original biblical snake carries a little bit of that hubris, that chutzpah, if you will. And I personally hand wring every snake that I catch in my backyard into my tinctures. So quality, it's fresh, and it's made in the USA.
Oh, But you do have some exotic snake oils as well.
Oh, sure. Sure. Yes.
Do you go
yes.
on
I belong to some. I'm sorry. What?
You go on journeys to get them. Do you travel abroad or you?
I do. Oh. I've traveled as far as southern Delaware. They have some very interesting snakes down there. I must say, the Delmarva Peninsula has some very interesting snakes with interesting accents because it's a blend of not only a Philly accent, but also that Southern Maryland, Northern Virginia accent that you can't quite put your finger on, but when you hear somebody say it, you're like, yeah, I know where you're from. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what kind of snakes are these?
Oh, well, there's your general garden variety suburban snake, right? Mm-hmm. There's your soccer momish, I've got a full house tonight. I can't really talk to you, snake. There's the I'm a basketball coach at the high school on nights and weekends snake. There's I'm working 5 jobs and I'm barely holding my life together snake. Actually, to be quite honest, I like those snakes because I can wring a lot more medicine out of them than any of the other ones. I
see. So we're not talking, I guess, your more popular snakes like cobras and pythons.
Oh, no. No. Anybody can get those snakes. The snakes that have the most natural, herbal, beneficial, holistic benefits to them are the ones that they're not the ones you can find in any book. You know, they're the ones you got to look for. You have to pay your dues. You have to spend time in the wild. You have to think like a snake. You have to become a snake. You know, for most of the year, you can find me naked, slithering around on my stomach along some of the lesser-known highways and byways of the northeastern United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about the snake oils. Do you just kind of drip them in, or do you mix anything else into them, and then what sort of cures are we looking at?
Well, like any good corporation, I do have my trade secrets. So I'm not going to tell you all of them, but I will share a little bit with you and your audience because I like you. I like your look. I like the cut of your jib. So, along with the snake oil, which again, I wring myself with these 2 hands in the good old USA, I do put in some natural botanicals. There's a little bit of hibiscus. There's a little bit of juniper and jasmine, just because I like the way they sound together. There's a little bit of mint for taste. And then I also put in a generous helping of my neighbor's moonshine.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. And then so what? So do you just have one specific snake oil, or do you have different ones for different ailments, or is it just the one snake oil will cure whatever ails you?
Well, see, this is what sets me apart from other snake oil salesmen. Other snake oil salesmen just have the one snake oil that they sell, and quite frankly, it's much more cost effective for them to do that. One label, one kind of bottle, one vat of whatever they're mixing up, right? I don't do that. I take pride in my business. I am a good small businessman, okay? I have a different snake oil for anything that ails you. Last count, I have 957 different kinds of snake oil because I do my research, Ryan T. Barlow, okay? I know not one snake oil is going to cure everything out there under the sun. You have to talk to people. You have to go out in public, shake the hands, kiss the babies, figure out what's ailing people, and then make a flim-flam that will address that need.
So, what's one of your more recent ones? COVID-19 aside.
Oh, yes. So, what a scourge, right? So I've talked to many of my neighbors, 6 feet away, of course, with a mask, and they're telling me their symptoms, more likely than not, is ennui, which surprised me. So I dug into my bag of tricks. I found a specific snake that only lives in the Poconos, a forgotten snake. Yes. And rang that out, again with these two hands in the USA, and put in just a hint of French bread pizza. And that, I think, will address the ennui.
So it has not just physical effects, but psychological effects that can improve your mood.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the smell of fresh baked pizza will cheer anybody up.
True. So we do have a question from one of our audience members. Sarah asks, my kids are driving me nuts right now. Can your oils help?
I find the best remedy for a house full of rambunctious children is not my snake oil, but my snakes. For a nominal fee, I will come to your house and just let my snakes loose.
Oh, are they poisonous or dangerous or anything?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Is this safe?
Yes. Who's to say? Safe is relative. But if it gives you some time for yourself to maybe take a walk, a bike ride, go get a latte, hey, I'm serving the common good.
Fair enough. So we just have one more question, and a lot of people are curious if there's other lizards and other animals that you can get oil from. People are asking about jellyfish, newts, iguanas.
My expertise does not extend to the nautical, so keeping in integrity with myself, I would not want to tell anyone that it's okay to milk anything from the ocean. But I will say anything with scales that crawls on land, if you ring hard enough, there's some oil in there.
Nice. All right. Well, we're just about out of time. Do you have any final words for everybody who's out there looking for some comfort and cures?
Hey, this virus has hit all of us pretty hard, so please support your local snake oil salesman, because when we're gone, we're like bees. Once we're gone, our whole environment will collapse.
Okay. Professor Tiberius P. Montague, Esquire, MD, DDS, thank you so much for being here. And thank all of you for being here as guests. I apologize for being on mute so many times. I'm not on mute now. I just checked. I want to give a special shout out to, let's see all of your guests again. If we can. Thanks everybody for being here. We've got RJ Payne here. You want to wave, RJ? And we've got Tom Hannigan. You want to wave? And then Olivia Olivia Kram, if you want to give a quick hello. Oh, nice dab there. And then Ralph Andracchio. He's a perfect through fame. And of course, Neil Bardhan, our trusty newsreader, and he also read all the underwriting ads in case you were like, was that the same guy? It was definitely the same guy. So thank you, all of you, for being here. You were fantastic. Thank you for turning that was we just turned the mics on for everyone, and that was the actual applause. In case you were wondering where that's coming from. I also want to thank TAT Communications, who put this on for us today. If you're there's the logo right there. Go to TatCom.com. If you thought this was a pretty cool presentation and you'd like to make your Zoom meetings look a lot fancier and better, then check them out. And so thanks again. This has been People of Interest, and I've been Ryan T. Barlow, and I hope you all stay safe and support your local snake oil salesmen. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.